Fox Factory 36 fork, Trail 1 Crockett bars, Rockville stem, got the P&W grips with the loam dropper lever, got that SDG saddle with those orange touches on that as well, the 200 mil loam dropper posts in that 34.9 mil diameter on this Fuel EX frame, upgraded the rear shock to the Fox Float X rear shock, got the P&W composite pedals on there. This is the Trek Fuel EX7 upgraded. What's up, you guys? My name's Jared. Welcome to the channel. If you guys have been following me at all, you guys will know that I bought this Fuel EX7, got this thing unboxed, built up. So right out of the box, I went ahead and started upgrading this bike by adding those P&W loam grips right there. Those are the size XL, or the larger diameter ones. I also added these composite range pedals, and you could see where I was going right from the start with those orange accents, which I thought would look really amazing with this blue colored frame to really make this bike stand out, pop, and just kind of make this thing my own. Now, I also went ahead and threw ride wrap on here. This isn't the full ride wrap protection. This is just the Fuel EX. It's like the custom, which one is this? Let me check real quick. The Fuel EX Covered Plus protection. So on these ride wraps, on the frame protection, you'll see on the front, it'll kind of show you the area that it covers in orange right there. So this wasn't the full frame protection, but definitely wanted to get at least a little bit of frame protection on this frame for riding, just to keep this frame looking good. And I do plan on keeping this bike for a long time, so ride wrap, definitely recommended, guys. After getting that ride wrap on there, I wanted to go ahead, take this bike out for a ride before I just started throwing money in this thing and starting to upgrade it. I wanted to really feel what this bike was lacking and try and figure out what I actually needed to upgrade. Performances that would not only make this bike look better, but actually perform better as well. Now, I tried to record that footage for you, but I had my GoPro set to narrow, unstabilized footage, and nobody wants to watch that crap. But after that ride, I realized some things that I definitely needed to upgrade on this bike. Now, one of the first things that I realized before even riding this bike was the bars and the stem. The bars that came stock on this bike were only 750 mil width, so just way too narrow. They got like a 15 mil rise, so not enough rise. And after riding this bike, I definitely could tell that I wanted bars that were just a little bit wider, a little bit taller, to put me in that right stance for the type of downhill smashing I have in store for this bike. Also, the stem that came on this Fuel EX7 was just really kind of cheap looking, and it was a little bit too long, a 50 mil stem. So I went ahead and upgraded the bars to these Trail 1 Crockett bars right here with this Trail 1 Rockville stem. And I'm very excited to try out how this bike is riding now. I definitely think it's gonna improve the riding performance and just how this bike feels and handles when mobbing down the trails. Now, the next thing that I wanted to upgrade on this was just that dropper post lever. The dropper post lever that came stock on this bike just had a really cheap feeling, and figured I already got those orange accents. I know the loam dropper post lever is an amazing lever, and it'll give me that extra little orange accent to throw there on the bars. I think it'll look good and it'll perform good as well. And to go along with that loam dropper post lever, I thought, you know what? I want to be able to slam my saddle down just a little bit more. So I'm going to get the 200 mil loam dropper post, which gives me enough length to, you know, I don't have it slammed all the way down, but I kind of like where it's sitting right now because it leaves just the P&W logos showing. So I get it, it's not all about looks, but I get that extra performance, I get that little bit of extra drop, and I still have this thing, what I think is looking pretty damn good as well. And to go along with that and those orange accents I already had, I found this STG Bel Air V3 saddle, which I think just looks amazing, and I knew by the shape of it that I was probably gonna like the way this thing felt as well, although I will admit it's always a little tricky when you're buying a saddle that you haven't rode before. I've never rode the STG Bel Air, so we're gonna see how that thing performs as I ride. We're gonna see if I like the decision I made. Look forward to future long-term review videos and reviews on all the components I have on this bike. I'm always pretty honest with you guys. This isn't just me trying to sell you on the way I upgraded my bike. I like to throw these parts on here, and I'll do future long-term review videos, let you know if there's any of the stuff that I don't like. Trust me, I'll say so. Now next, we need to talk about the suspension upgrade. One of the biggest things I noticed when I took this Fuel EX7 out on its initial ride was the suspension that came stock on this bike. The RockShox RL35 Gold fork and the Fox Float DPS rear shock. And while the suspension right here is fine for most everyday riding, I found myself blowing through my travel way too quick, so I knew that I wanted to upgrade my suspension and didn't really want to mess around trying to tune this. Also, this fork right here, you can't upgrade that compression damper. That's one of the holdbacks on this 35 Gold fork, is it's not as upgradable as like a Yari or something else from RockShox. And this rear shock, you can tune this thing a little bit more, put some additional volume spacers in there, but I found what I think is a pretty good budget way, at least when it comes to suspension, to be able to upgrade your suspension on your bike. Now on the fork, especially when you're looking at an orange Fox Factory 36 like this, it's hard to find these things on sale anywhere or even secondhand. But the way I got a good discount on this one is if you go over to Losco, when you first sign up for their email list, it gives you a 15% discount. Now 15% may not sound like a lot, but when you're talking about a $1,149 fork, it brought the price of this thing all the way down into like the $970 range, which is still a lot of money, but a good discount when you're getting a fork that's gonna last you if you take care of it for as long as you wanna ride a mountain bike. Now, pushing to the back of this bike and talking about the rear shock, this is where you can actually find a really good deal, because this rear shock, the Fox Float X rear shock, is the same rear shock that I had on my Trek Slash before, and this thing will handle just about any type of riding you like to do. But people that buy the higher end models of these Fuel EXs, for some reason, they want to be able to put their own personal touches on their bike, so they will get rid of these shocks. So this was a brand new takeoff that I found on Pink Bike Buy and Sell for $250, and that was included, like shipped all the way to me, $250 for a $500 rear shock that's never been rode. Also, this shock came off another Fuel EX, which means it's tuned for this frame, and that's something I think people overlook a little bit when they're going to upgrade their rear shock. Getting the right rear shock with the right tune for your suspension layout on your bike. So Fox Factory 36 fork, Trail 1 bars, Trail 1 stem, P&W touches throughout, STG saddle. I'm gonna have affiliate links down in the description. Doesn't cost you guys anything, but if you guys are interested in any of the components that I have on this bike, I have links down there so you guys can check out exactly what I got, and if you guys want to purchase it, it helps the channel out. So with that being said, this bike is ready to shred, but what else do you guys think I should upgrade on this bike? Maybe throw a mudguard on that Fox 36 fork? Would you guys have changed out that rear shock? Is there anything I've done so far that you guys don't like? What do you think about these orange accents with that blue frame color? Leave a comment below, and as I make more videos, I'll drop them right there, so definitely check those ones out. But most of all, get stoked, go ride, and have some fun, people.